Hello, and thank you for joining us today here at Complete Payroll Solutions while we demonstrate our Complete Express platform. We're going to get started right here on our login page. You'll see I've already got our credentials entered, so we're going to go ahead and click on Login. I'll let you know that we do utilize a multi-factor authentication process. So the first step to that process is security questions. So we've already got a security question populated here. We're just going to go ahead and enter in that answer. Click Continue. Second step is our personalized image and phrase, which I did set myself, so I recognize this as my own, so I know I'm good to proceed with that third step, which is your password. Go ahead and click on Continue. Brings you to your payroll dashboard, your personalized payroll information. Our dashboard is really user-friendly. It houses a series of tiles and menu bars. They provide you with convenient one-click access to some of the most commonly used functions and items, things like running a payroll, adding an employee, viewing your reports. You can do that here in the tiles or again here in the menu reports or the menus. We've also got a series of a couple of widgets for you. So the first widget we have is the recent reports. It's going to provide you with your most recent payroll reports. Really quick and easy access for you there. Reminders, anything that you want to set to remind yourself to do. It could be for next week or it could be a year from now. This reminder is a really neat tool for you to have access to. We're going to go right into employees. So we've got a couple different ways we can access employees. First, we can add a new employee by clicking on the tile. Gets us right into this widget, or the wizard I should say, where we enter in all of the required information to pay an employee. We're not going to add an employee today though. We're going to actually go to the employee listing. So we can make some changes, or I can show you the information on an employee. So I clicked employee. We see here we're now on the employee listing. Access the employee data is really easy. You just select the employee that you want to work with. You can do it by scrolling. You can toggle between pages. You can even change the number of employees that's listed here for you, making scrolling that much easier. But easier even beyond that is this filter option. I know I want to work with my employee Jeremy Jones, so I'm going to type in Jones here. All of my employees with that same last name pop up, and here's my friend Jeremy. I'm going to go ahead and click right on him. And we are now on his index cards, if you will. So the employee details can be found really quickly for edits using their respective index cards. So starting on the primary info here, we've got his personal information, pay status, pay rates, any employee notes. So you can see I've added a note here that I want to double up on his medical insurance with the first payroll in July. Moving to payroll info, scheduled earnings, any payroll deductions, and then direct deposit. He's got one checking account established here, but we can house up to 4. So again, up to 4 accounts on that direct deposit. We're going to move forward to our tax info. This is where we would house the respective tax information provided to you on a federal W-4, state W-4 if there was a separate one provided, as well as local taxes if you're established in a state that requires any local taxes to be withheld from an employee. Clicking on additional fields provides you with a couple different index cards that we utilize. First is the memos, so things like 401k match or employer-sponsored health would be located here. And then employee self-service access, just a really quick reference point for you so you can see which employees have established their accounts and which have not. Moving forward to pay history. We've got some tools here where you can access their gross earnings per pay. So you can see $120 on the 16th, $404 was paid to him on the 23rd. Pay history per check date, and just a simple gross minus taxes equals net. So really quick reference point for you if you want to reference something like last pay raise. Moving forward, we're going to go back to the dashboard. And we're going to check out our reporting options. So we can access reports by a couple different places. First on this tile, again on the menu. It's going to take you to the same place in this instance. So we're going to go ahead and click on, we're going to click on reports. All right, takes us right to our report library. So reporting library provides us with access to historical payroll records and reports. All reports are in a really convenient PDF. So you just go ahead and click on that PDF that you want to view. If you want to export it, you can export it or print it. You can see you can do either of those here. Once you're done viewing it, you just X right out of that window, brings you right back to where you were. We've got a few different reports that you can access in Report Library. We've got distributed pay stubs. We've got period end and distributed W-2s. This is a sample company, so they're not here. But if you had things like federal 940s, federal 941s, distributed W-2s, you'd be able to locate all of them here nice and easy for you. We also have a report browser. The report browser allows a user to search for additional payroll reports that might not necessarily be in their customized payroll package. So if it's something that you just need as a one-time report, you can go ahead and search it by clicking on Add Report and pulling in the report that you would like to view. This can take up to a minute to do, just because it's pulling a report directly from our server, not directly from this website. So you just check off the report that you want to review, click on Add and Next, and select the payroll number that you want to view it against and click on Submit. You'll see it's in a requested status. Again, it's going to populate in about a minute or so, sometimes most of the time under that. You're going to click on the magnifying glass to view the report. Again, you can print it, export it, whatever you'd like to do. You just go ahead and click the X button when you're done. Oh, and then that payroll report that was just on a requested status is already on a completed status for you to view. So you can see how quick and easy that is to do. Moving back to the dashboard now, we're going to proceed with the payroll. Running payroll can be as easy as 1, 2, 3. So we've got a run one-step payroll tile menu here for you. If you're interested in this, you can ask your sales representative or your service representative. They'll let you know if that's something that you want to proceed with. But most of our clients will use the full payroll process, and that's what we're going to do today. You can do that either by accessing the item here, or you can also enter into running a payroll on the tile, which is what we're going to do right now. Brings you right into your currently selected payroll dates. It's going to select the next payroll in line, I should say, according to your calendar. So you could say we've got a pay date of June 30. That's going to establish for us here. If we want to change a different check date, we can, but you do always want to run in chronological order. But you can see here's our calendar. So if you want to even review your dates, you've got the ability to do that there. If you want to import your payroll against a time clock, you can. Using time and attendance or time labor, a file export can easily be imported right into this system, making payroll that much easier for you. Today we're going to show you the standard Power Grid. So we're going to proceed by clicking on Create Payroll. It's going to pop up our Power Grid. Take some time as it loads all of your individual employees' data. And here we are. So our Power Grid offers a really agile, customizable screen with a variety of sorting and filtering. It's really got a spreadsheet functionality, super simple to use, and we're going to go ahead and use a couple examples here now. You can see we've got all of our employees. I want to go ahead and uncheck all. I always like to work with a clean slate. I don't want to accidentally pay somebody that I don't mean to. We can set sorts and filters. We can even add in payee. So if you want to pay somebody that you just terminated and you forgot you needed to pay them one additional check, you can even pull up an employee that's been terminated before to add them on the grid if they are not already there. Sorting, if we want to sort by first name, we can. Whatever sort you'd like to choose out of all of these options available to you. Filtering is such a neat tool. So if I only want to pay my salaried employees, or let's just say I want to work with one set of employees at a time rather than pulling up my entire list, I can do that. I select Show Only Salaried Employees in this case, and you can see here's all of my salaried employees. Let's go ahead and pay them all. And you know what? Today I feel extra generous. I want to go ahead and pay them a bonus. So let's choose our columns. I could simply just scroll to the right here and find my bonus columns, but if it's a really complicated payroll and you've got a lot going on, maybe you just want to see that bonus column. You can do that by choosing columns, deselecting all of the other columns available here, clicking on Apply Changes, and now you'll see we're only working with those bonuses. So you can just go right down the line and pay out your bonuses to your employees. All right. Always click on Save Changes before you proceed with anything, or changing filters, which is what I'm about to do, I should say. We're going to go ahead and clear that filter. You can see our bonus column is still available, so if we have bonuses to pay out aside from management, then you can. We're going to put those other columns back on. It's still saving all of the changes that we've done up to this point. All right, and let's take a look at all those employees that we paid. You're just going to click on this pay screen. It's going to pull up all of the employees that have been paid for you. Here's all of our salaried employees. Now we've got a full employee listing here. So you can see I've got 10 employees on my page. if I really wanted to, I can see all of my employees on one page, and you can do that by selecting the pays per page drop down here. You can select a default number here, but you can also just say all employees, and it's going to give you every employee on one page, making payroll that much quicker and easier for you. You can even toggle by pages here. All right, let's do one more filter. Let's show you a division or a department. We'll say we only want to pay our employees that work in the kitchen in my Connecticut location. Click on filter, and you'll see here's all of our employees in that location. I'm going to go ahead and pay our friend Jeremy. All right, and let's go ahead and say that we want to pay him an additional check for some reason. So if you click on this, what we like to call our flower power, you can see we've got the ability to add a new row, duplicate the row. It's even telling us to double up on his medical insurance. There's that message that you saw when we were looking at his employee screen. We can change his division, department, change the pay rate, turn off direct deposit, or even delete a row. So this flower really does give us a lot of power here, and these are all temporary changes. So it's not something that's going to make a permanent change, really just a quick add change for temporary changes here. We're going to go ahead and new row for this employee. Type in Jones here. There's our friend Jeremy, and you'll see it's going to add a second line for him. Let's say we want to change his pay rate. We'll give him $12 an hour, 20 hours, and we're just going to scroll all of the way to the right, and very easy. Now he's got a second check. All right. So before we proceed, again, save your changes. And there's one other thing I'd like to show you. We've got a grid totals button here, really quick checkpoint for you so you can verify everything that you've done so far is accurate. Click on grid totals. You can see it's providing us with a total specific to this filter. Actually, look at that. See, that's one quick way to see that you've gone ahead and you've made an error. Instead of paying them hours, I paid them charge tips. So let's back that out, and let's give them those hours. So 40 and 20 is where we were. So again, save those changes, grid totals, and there's our totals. So here's our hourly totals against these employees on this filter. It's telling you it's filtered by division and department. And here's our company totals. So with every filter you do, you can get a filter total and a company total. So if these totals look good, I think I'm in a good place where I'm ready to proceed. I'm going to clear my filter here, get everybody on one spot, and I'm going to hit continue. It's telling me that I've got 6 out of 59 employees included in this payroll. Are you good to continue? Yes, I am. I'm happy with that. And it's even telling me some employees have more than one grid line, which is great. That's what I wanted. Go ahead and click on OK, but if you want to continue to make changes, just click on cancel. It's processing your grid. It's creating its checks. And what it's going to do next is it's going to provide us with any alerts or employee messages. There's no messages that are to be found here, so we are good to proceed. But all of those totals, the pay confirmations, the system messages, they all help to ensure that everybody's getting paid and getting paid accurately. So because I know that I'm safe to proceed, I'm going to go ahead and click on Review Payroll Totals. It's going to calculate everything against this payroll. So it's going to take time because it's going from check to check and refreshing all of the payroll totals, calculating from gross to net, including taxes, deductions, and everything in between. So it's going to provide us with a total of our control totals, again, as I like to call them. So total hours, regular hours, and then our payroll dollars. So a total cash requirement. What's required to be deposited into my bank account that's going to cover my payroll expenses. So these totals should be available for us, and here they are. So here's our totals. We can double check here, and there's our payroll dollars. It's giving us a net breakdown. So we've got our gross to net. We've got our taxes. If you had an invoice, your invoice would be here, providing you with that total bank requirement here. You always want to review your pre-processed payroll register by clicking here. All right, so here's all of our employees' pays as you would see them on a finalized register, but again, this is a pre-process, so it's not too late to make changes. So we've got everybody, their pays, gross to net. You can see everybody that's getting a live check versus people that are getting direct deposit. This is the last place for you to verify check date and pay period, so you definitely want to do that here. All right, you're going to click X, or you can even export or print that. Once you are in a good place, you can either submit, or if you do need to make changes, it's not too late. You can just click on back to edit payroll. It's going to bring you right back to the grid, left it exactly, or it's going to bring you back exactly how you left it. You make changes in addition to what you already have in there, resubmit, and it'll bring you again back to that view pre-process payroll register for your final review before processing. So here we're ready to go. If we want to save and exit and work on it again later, we can do that by clicking here. But in this case, we want to process. So you can either process it as is, you can process it with special instructions, and those instructions will come right over to the representative responsible for your account, or you can just leave a general message, contact me before processing this payroll. Either one of these two, your reps are going to see that alert and know that something needs to be done before proceeding with finalization of your payroll. We're good to proceed. We're going to go ahead and click on Submit Payroll. Are you sure you want to submit? Yes, I am. And congratulations, you've successfully submitted your payroll. Here's your pay date, your period start and end date, and it's telling you your payroll reports will be available for download shortly. So we have just processed payroll together. We're going to click on Close, and much like that employee screen, you've also got a payroll chart. So you've got your payroll expenses per check date, and then you've also got a payroll calendar. So it's telling you which payrolls have been processed and when, what the weekly check dates were, what the period start and the period end dates are. So just really another great tool for you to use and track your payroll figures. So that is our Complete Express platform. That concludes our demonstration. Thank you so much for joining us today. And for any information additional to this demonstration, please feel free to contact your sales or service representative, or you can visit us at www.completepayrollsolutions.com for more information. Thank you so much and take care.